The median age of an American homebuyer just hit a record 59 years old, up from 39 in 2010. In fact, the average first-time homebuyer is now 40 years old, which is a bit long in the tooth to be starting a family. Will a house become something you buy at retirement like a gold watch? After years of nosebleed home prices thanks to Federal Reserve money printing, home prices are finally leveling off, while price metrics slide into crisis territory. In a recent video, I mentioned how there's currently 500,000 more homes for sale than buyers. Just last week, Zillow announced the average home listing hit record discounts of up to $25,000. A near record 70% of all home listings have been on the market 60 days plus, basically meaning it's inactive. And delistings, where the seller gives up and takes the home off the market, are up 30% on the year, hitting the highest since 2017, which makes sense given there's 500,000 extra homes for sale. Now, taken together, this suggests house prices should finally start coming down, yet they are not, with the Case-Shiller House Price Index continuing to rise, up 1.5% this year. So the main driver of home prices are inflation and mortgage rates. Housing traditionally tracks inflation 1-to-1, while cheap mortgages make house prices go up to the tune of roughly 10% in house price for every 1% cut in mortgage rates. That's why housing got so expensive under Biden, yet double-digit inflation on top of COVID-era interest rates that delivered record-low 3% mortgages. The weird part was when the Fed finally did hike rates starting in 22, it nearly tripled mortgage rates, but house prices continued going up. The go-to explanation was people were stuck in their 3% mortgages they couldn't afford to sell and get a new mortgage at triple the rate. The problem is mortgage rates are now historically normal, about 6.25%, but prices are still rising even with the buyer shortage, delistings, and stale listings. So what's going on? Two things. Sellers with inflated expectations after 25 years of rising home prices and winning the lotto in COVID, and buyers who do not have money or credit. So car loan defaults are up 50% on the year. Credit card defaults are up to 1 in 7 cardholders. 40 million Americans are now repaying Biden's paused student loans with an average balance of almost $40,000. Toss in wages that still haven't made back Biden losses, and buyers simply do not have the money or the credit for a $400,000 house that used to cost $300,000, while sellers don't want to accept that it's a $300,000 house. So what's next? Brought to you by I Trust Capital. Housing will not unstick until mortgages get under the 5s, which might happen in the next year, going by the Fed's easy money whispers. At that point, we'll see who's swimming without a suit, if that 500,000 missing buyers finally hit house prices, or if cheap mortgages do what they always do, push prices even higher. The clean solution is raise incomes for the young so they can grow into $400,000 houses. If Trump gets this investment boom, that will happen, although it will take years. In the meantime, buying a first house in your 40s is here to stay. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.